Tell you, for me, today is bittersweet because the last time that Stan Lee stood on stage in public was on this very stage a year ago. So I don't know how many of you were here last year, right? Okay. Well, you guys got to see his last talking to the public ever. It was here on this very stage. He made one more appearance after that at a comic book convention, but he was just signing. He didn't go up on stage. So he was on this very stage right here. Here, I'll give you just briefly my quick bounces that I had with him. When I was trying to break into comic books, I met him the very first time at 16. 16 years old. I accidentally ran into him at a convention. He let me sit next to him and pepper him with questions that ultimately led me to wanting to become a comic book artist. And so, fast forward 10 years later, I'm actually doing Spider-Man, right? How serendipitous is it? And because of doing Spider-Man, I actually get to meet Stan Lee now from a professional level. And from that moment on, we became friends. And we've been friends. We're friends for over 30 years. Here's what I saw with that man. He was one of the best human beings at conventions. And if any of you had the chance to meet him at conventions, he understood the fact. And this is not to be diminished because again, you've got some very good, amazing celebrities here. They're going to be coming and you guys go to other conventions. It is not easy to try and make every single one of you that gets in line for somebody like Stan or Tom Hardy or some big celebrity to basically make all of you feel as important as the person before you and after you. And Stan Lee had this unique power, and I've been around long enough, I'm in my 50s. He had the unique power to be able to make the 20 or 30 seconds that he had with individuals seem important to that individual. He would smile. If you guys, if anybody get to meet Stan and that 30 seconds matter to you? Right? Yeah, sure. Right? Now, when he came here last year, here's the one thing that we forgot. He was 95 years old, right? I forgot it too. So I know even when I was at his house, I kept forgetting that this is a man in his 90s because he was so vibrant up on the stage and he would give so much of himself. So that at the end of his life, when he started acting like a normal, human, 95-year-old person, it was like, come on, Stan, where's the energy? Right? Because he had the energy. But here's what I know. Here's what makes all of us jealous, both as fans and as creative people. Some of us may be lucky enough to create one or two ideas. I got a character called Swan, he's done okay for me. But what I haven't done is create dozens and dozens and dozens of those kinds of characters. And that's what Stan Lee did for the world. Along with his co-creators, right? Again, he didn't create them all. He co-created them with some great artists. He unleashed across the globe, much to his surprise, dozens of these characters that we now all take for granted. We think there's going to be a new movie coming out every month, every single time. I had the good pleasure of being on stage with him probably 24 times. A lot of it was because he couldn't hear, and he goes, Todd, I need somebody to basically tell me the questions. And so he goes, I just need somebody, and I need somebody that I can poke fun. So we did this sort of Batman and Robin thing. But when we were behind the curtain or in the green room, he would say things to me like, can you believe it? Can you believe how big these movies are getting? Can you believe how much the world is going for this? It's amazing, isn't it, Todd? Oh my gosh, this is great. So he was as thrilled at what was happening with his characters as all of you were, because he had no idea. He didn't know what he was unleashing in the 60s. He was just doing his creative thing and then they just blew up. And as they went, he was like, oh my gosh, and like a proud parent, he was just seeing them get bigger and bigger. And then he had the unique fortune to be able to then go, hey, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start acting at 85. right? Wow. No, this is how it works then, not for him. He starts acting at 95, and he's at the heyday by the time he's at 95 in those 10 years, and you're still going to see a couple cameos, because they shot a couple of them in advance. He's still going to be up on screen on a couple movies, right? So, yes. Yeah. My selfish part was, he promised he was going to do a cameo on Spawn, and that's never going to happen, but somehow we'll figure out how to get him into the movie, even if it's just a poster in the background or something. But he enjoyed, there's two things, let me tell you right now, there's two things that Stan Lee cared about in my 30 years of knowing this man on a personal level. One was his wife. His wife died a couple of weeks before her their 70th anniversary of being married. 70 years. Let's just stop for a moment and think about that number. Here's how you get to 70 years of marriage. You must meet each other when you're both 20. No, it's true. You can't meet each other at 40 and get 70 years. That one's not happening. So you got to meet each other at 20. Already the odds are stacked at that one. Then you got to fall in love fairly quickly and get married at 20 each. And then a couple of big things have to happen. One, you have to stay in love. And given that we have a divorce rate of 50%, that is already a steep hill. For 70 years, you have to love that human being. And then, the biggest one of the whole, you both have to be healthy. Into your 90s. Somebody can't get cancer. Somebody can't get in a car accident. Somebody can't get leukemia. Somebody can't get a bad disease that happened to all of us, and we probably all had it in our family, in our life. So you have to have got married at 20. You have to have stayed in love, and you have to have both been healthy. And then you have to live to 90s. And then you get to that number. That's how rare Joni and Stan's relationship were. So at the end of every convention, as much joy as he had, he would say, Todd, I'm looking forward, I get to go home to see Joni. And when Joni passed away, it was telling. For me personally, it was telling. I started seeing this life for him, because I think ultimately what Stan died of was a broken heart. He would say to me, Todd, I just want to see Joni. I just want to see Joni. And so for about a year, when he wasn't there, it broke his heart. And ultimately, I'm hoping that they're both together today. The second thing that he loved was you guys, right? I had the distinct pleasure of being around him dozens and dozens of times. And you guys gave him energy. I am telling you, as much as you think he gave you, you guys gave it back to him in spades. And he would say that. He would sit, again, behind that curtain, and he'd sit there, and the conversations we would have would be, isn't this great? Isn't this a great weekend? Do you see all the people? Look at the smiles on their face. Did you see that little kid that asked the question? Oh my gosh, this is a good weekend. And on top of it being a great weekend, I get to go home to Joni. And that was it. And it was perfect for him. It was perfect for him. And he had a good life. And there wasn't one time, ladies and gentlemen, where I ever heard that man say something negative about somebody else. Ever. He just sucked up life, and he swallowed it, and it tasted good to him every single day. But as he got a little bit older, his eyesight went, his hearing went, and it became difficult. And one of the things that got taken away from him was basically going up on stage. He goes, Todd, I can't hear, and I can't see anymore. And I can't do that thing that I get so much joy, which is just interacting with other human beings. I can't do that now. And that was his curse at the end, and Joni wasn't there. And so I would go to his house, and we would just talk about his life. But he always said, Todd, when you see the people, tell them, thank you. Tell them thank you, because they let me have this good life that I've had. And so I know that you guys get in line, you guys go to conventions, you spend a lot of money, you spend a lot of time, And I know that you come up to us in line and you go, oh my gosh, it's a good time, thanks for the autograph, thanks for taking the picture. No, we owe you, as a matter of fact, we owe you more than you owe us. You give us a career, you give us a life, you give us economy so that we can put food on the table to our families, and Stan understood that every single day. It's why he acted the way that he acted. The first time I met him at 16, he would have been probably in his 40s, 50s, and 50 years later, he still had the same energy because he knew that he had his entire career built on the backs of you guys supporting his ideas and his creative stuff. So, for some of us here in this room that didn't get to spend nearly as much time as I did, he touched many lives, I just want to say that it was not only a pleasure of getting to know him as a creative person, because he was an amazing man, it was a pleasure to know him as a human being, because I got to have private conversations that none of you will ever have had the chance, and for that, I don't know why me. Why he liked me, a little Canadian dumb shit, right? Just, I don't know. But the last time Stan and I were on stage, he was right here, and you guys remember he was sitting right here, and we got to ask him a few questions, and he got to say it for the last time, and he got to give you guys his gratitude. And so today, we're going to spend a couple of minutes here, hopefully giving a bit of our gratitude. And I'm telling you, we're all gonna miss him. And here's what I know for a fact. Here's what I know for a fact. Whatever it is that we're saying about this man today will be nothing compared to 20 years from now. And you know why I say that? Because every one of his characters are gonna continue to grow. Marvel's going to grow, the movies are going to grow, they're going to begat their own sequels, their TV shows, their comic book, whatever the circle is that we think is Marvel comic is just going to get bigger. So whatever we're saying, oh my gosh, you remember all that stuff that Stan helped create with those other co-creators? Man, it was this big, in 20 years it's going to be this big. It's all going to grow. There is no, I had the pleasure of creating a character called Venom. Venom doesn't exist without Spider-Man. Without Spider-Man, I never create Venom. So Venom is essentially still an embodiment of some of the stuff that Stan and his co-creators did. And creative people are now going to keep building upon that world that he did. And so that to me is the joy, that I go, wow, whatever we're saying today, we're underselling him. And that's going to be awesome. Right? Walt Disney, when he passed away, was this big. Disney is now this big. It's awesome. And it's got things like Pixar. So, for all the creative geniuses out there that get us at least a couple of moments of taking our mind off the busy world that we have, I think we owe them a debt of gratitude. And more importantly, he owed a debt of gratitude to his fans. And he always told me, Todd, if you ever see them, tell them thank you. Today I'm saying thank you.